Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Stanford University and the historic Burnham Pavilion as we welcome the Stanford Cardinal taking on Team USA and the Bay Area Bandits tonight in a battle royale. Tonight's host are myself, Mike Burns, and my good friend from former Stanford gymnast, David Jessen.
Hey, Mike. Good to be here with you today.
Good to see you, David, and congratulations on all your success and moving forward, and a great opportunity to kind of see your old place here. So let's listen to the PA announcer.
And now let's meet today's competitors. Starting on the floor exercise is Team USA. Featuring team captain Virtius, world champion Pavilion, and cold water, and Canada medalist Virtius. On the floor range, the Area Bandits, captained by Virtius, also the USA national son, and social media secretary. And on followers will be your four-time NCAA national champions, your Stanford Cardinal. And now, fans, we ask the peace box to table enter the moving house and join us in honoring the United States of America for playing our national anthem.
Okay, well, we have the teams getting ready for their first competition event. We got the coaches for Stanford, Tom Gleamy, head coach, assistant coaches Mark Freeman and Grant Breckenridge. They'll be leading the Stanford Cardinal tonight. They're ranked number 2 in the country right now with an NQS of 407.30 with a high score of 415.25. So they're really operating at a high level these days. And Team USA has a small team of 5 athletes, I believe, and they're getting ready for the Winter Cup next 2 weeks from now. But a few of these guys are actually going to be competing in a international competition that same weekend. So this is going to be a preparation meet for those guys. And our final team, the Bay Area Bandit, right directly from right across the bay. And this is a GymAct team, and many of you are probably familiar with GymAct these days. But William Paris is the head coach. He's being helped out with local coaches Vince Miller, Andrew Fairchild, and Sho Nakamori. Bay Area Bandits are coming in with a national qualifying score of 149.1 and a high score of 149.1, which means they must have the same score NQS and a high score, David. So I think they've only had one competition this year. And I think that was William Pierce that just got by, and he's a great story. He was gymnast for a long time. He's in his 30s now, he's running the Bay Area Bandits as a coach and administrator, and he's competing for them. So he's a jack of all trades, master of all, and he's just been doing a great job out there in Northern California, getting this program, getting some high energy breathed back into it. So it's really, really good to see that happening. And we're getting ready to get things started. They probably just are in the process of getting ready for the 2-minute touch. And once the announcer gives them the green light, we'll be getting ready to see some action here. And I'm really looking forward to it. Stanford's going to be starting on the pommel horse. I believe Team USA is going to be starting on the floor exercise, and the Bay Area Bandits are starting on the still range. Do I have that right, David? Are you up on the starting events? I think we have that right.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we got what was it? Oh yeah, Stanford on pommel horse. USA's on floor, and we got the Bay Area Bandits on rings. Yep.
And the interesting thing is a few of the gymnasts from Stanford that are postgraduates that are still training at Stanford and trying to make it back onto the national team. We got Ian Gunther and Blake Soon, and I think is Riley Luce competing for that group, or is he on the Team USA group? He's on Team USA, but Ian and Blake are going to actually be competing on the Bay Area Bandits team. This is a great opportunity to get them in a competition setting with some pressure. The judges are here; they're part of a team. They gotta step up and score some points for the Bay Area Bandits. And wouldn't it be amazing if the Bay Area Bandits just took it to Stanford and Team USA on the floor of Burnham Pavilion? I tell you, this is a night that would be remembered for centuries in the world of college gymnastics. I can't wait.
Oh, for sure. That'd be pretty fun to watch.
And you can see these guys doing their 2-minute touch. We're using NCAA rules here, which gives each team an opportunity to get a little bit of a warm-up in, maybe hit a few skills that they had a little trouble with in their warm-up period. But really, it's just a chance to kind of get their blood moving and get kind of their timing back down and maybe get their grip set on the rings and kind of feel out that last punch before they actually have to take that tumbling pass to the floor. So, yeah, it's just about probably winding down in the last few seconds of the 2-minute touch. And then what we're going to do is we'll get started with, again, Team USA will be starting us on the floor exercise. Stanford will be starting on the pommel horse, and Bay Area Bandits on rings. And, starting on pommel horse, David, I'm not sure, you were an athlete, obviously, a high level. And starting on the pommel horse can be a little nerve-wracking, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We like to equate pommel horse to like starting on beam for girls. It's one of those events, you need a lot of balance to stay on. And yeah, it can be nerve-wracking to start on it, but you gotta trust what you've done in the gym and treat it like any other day. It's just another routine.
Absolutely. Well, I believe we're alternating performance, and up first on the floor exercise for Team USA is Jeremy Bishop, who is also a member of the Stanford team. So let's watch Jeremy here. Beautiful opening tumbling pass. Gets his requirement of a double flipping skill down right away in a combo pass. That was great. Another combo pass, cleanly done. Guy knows where the floor is. He's got some big old feet that he could just land anything. Look at those things. It's like he's wearing skis. He's going to land and just not take any steps in this competition, I think, tonight. We got to count. We always like to see a floor exercise routine where every single pass is stuck. Now, the most important one, though, if you want to get your stick bonus, is the last pass, the dismount. So let's see how Jeremy does. He's working on his element group 1 non-acro skills, where he's doing a couple of press handstands over here. And through the course of this routine, he has to keep things moving because he only has 75 seconds to get it all done. And he's got a lot to do in those 75 seconds. A nice layout back somersault for kind of a side pass to get him to the far corner. And I think he's got probably a couple more passes to go here. Front double full with a slight hop. Oh, that was his dismount. Okay, so well done, Jeremy. Nice, clean routine. And no major mistakes in that one, David. I think that's going to score pretty well.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's going to score very well.
Okay, we're heading right over to pommel horse. Now, as soon as that last guy landed, this guy should be going. Otherwise, this beat's going to take a little longer. So we got Arun. Give me a little help on that last name, David.
I think it's Arun Chetri.
That's it. Absolutely. I was just testing. I knew that. So Arun's saluted the judges. He's taking his last moment of kind of mental preparation. There he's going to let her rip. Starting with a scissor from one end to the other called the McCulloch, and then a traveling C-scissor from the end to the middle, and that was done really nicely. The judges these days are really hammering those skills. You have any kind of a little bit of weight on the back of your thigh as you catch that scissor, they're just going to give you no credit and take about 5/10 of a deduction. So it's a really risky skill these days, and Arun is just swinging like a champion here. Look at this guy go, David. He is smoking this thing. If he swings any faster, that pommel horse is going to start to levitate off the ground. Nicely done. Handstand went right up.
That was great. Yeah, little form break in the middle of it, but he saved it and kept it going right till the end. Very good routine.
Yes, indeed. You know, the thing about pommel horse is you're gonna hope it goes according to plan, but it seldom does. So you got to always be in that constant mode of adjusting as you go. And the best athletes can do that. And the ones who don't have a lot of room for error, those are the ones who run into trouble. So we'll take a look at that through the course of the competition performances tonight and see who kind of has that ability to keep it going when things get a little bit rugged. All right, we're heading over to the still rings for the Bay Area Bandits with Evan Hymanson, who is a former gymnast from the University of Nebraska. And he's going to grad school out at Stanford, I believe, now. And he's been competing for the Bay Area Bandits for the last couple of years. Super clean gymnast, very elegant. And, the fact that he's got a full 4 years of college experience under his belt gives him that sense of dependability. A team likes a guy who you can count on. And, his capability has given him a chance to be very dependable. And when you become dependable, David, you start to become unbeatable. So let's see how Evan finishes up this routine with a double twist, double back, slight step to the back. A little bit unbalanced when he landed, so there's going to be some deductions there. But that was a really nice set. And aggressively done just on double twist and double back. So let's see, who do we have next here? We got two guys going. Oh, so now it was the first guy on each event went staggered, and now we got things just kind of rocking and rolling. So we got Colt Walker on the floor exercise. And who's
Luke
that up
McFarland
on the
pommel horse?
Luke McFarland, a guy from my old neighborhood, my stomping ground back in Massachusetts. He's one of Tim Daggett's and Darren Morace's former gymnasts. He's still having a great career out here at Stanford, and he's a swinger. Look at him swing. Nice extension.
Yes.
And he's very confident. Colt over there on the floor
nice.
while we're going is just having a heck of a day. He's a really powerful tumbler. And that was a nice triple Russian dismount on the pommel horse. And he was able to get his body up above that minimum 30-degree requirement to avoid the 3/10 deduction. And he's going to score pretty well on that, I think. But look who's judging over there, Michael Ash. And I think that's John Culbertson. Those two might be the toughest judges on the floor tonight, so we shall see. Colt's going along in his routine, just finishing up his non-acro requirements. And over there on rings, we're still waiting for the score from Evan's routine. So as soon as that score comes up, our next guy in line will be Ian Gunther, Stanford Cardinal graduate. So anyway, we got a lot of Stanford blood in the gym tonight on every team that's out here. So this is like an old homecoming for everybody. And
I actually think it's Ezekiel Eason going up next on the still
Oh, my
rings.
bad. I'm looking at the wrong lineup. Okay, Ezekiel, let's see what you got, baby. All right, back up rise to straight body planche. A little balance adjustment, but nicely done. He kind of salvaged a little bit of a problem there, like we just talked about. He's strong. Look at that nice precision. And these guys are putting a great effort together this year with the Bay Area Bandits. And you can see it's like Will Pierce there in the background, kind of getting ready to go next. And who do we have on pommel horse now?
We have J.R. Chow.
J.R. Chow, one of the best pommel horse guys I've seen in a long time. Beautiful extension on those scissors and leg cuts. Nice solid dismount over there on rings. When these guys break into these Thomas flares, it's just, I think it makes pommel horse, it takes it to another level, and it just kind of makes the crowd go, wow! He is doing the proverbial whirly bird over there on the pommel horse, and look at him, he's just still going. He has no complaints, no problems with all this stuff he's doing, and look at him go. Extremely steady throughout. And here he goes for the dismount, pops it up like it's nobody's business. Holy smokes, J.R. Chow. You are my new hero on pommel horse.
Great routine, yeah, for JR. the flares are always aesthetically pleasing, especially for the untrained eye.
Exactly, yep. Oh my gosh, did you see that pass on floor exercise? Holy smokes. I think we got Asher Hong, guy who was born with springs in his legs, and he's just popping these things around like it's nobody's business. Guy has got some power in those legs, right? Oh, was that a double twist and double layout? Holy smokeroonies.
Yes.
Good Lord, do you see this guy, what he's doing? You don't see it too often, is right. Now he's taking the Thomas flares from the pommel horse right over to the floor exercise, up and down like it's his job. And I believe we got Will Pierce on the rings now. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Will's sporting the ponytail today, which I think should be a 3/10 bonus, but I'm not sure the judges would agree with me. Nice shoot to handstand. And it looks like Asher's getting ready for his dismount here. What do you think he's going to do? The old triple full? Or yes, indeed.
Yes, the old
Came up a little short in the rotation and took a big hop forward, but you know what? Everything else was so darn good, I'd just assume not even give a deduction on that. Well, what do I know? I'm more of a coach than a judge, right?
Yeah. Very high-level gymnastics from Asher.
Unbelievable. He just seems to be getting better every time he competes. Over here on the pommel horse, looks like we got Taylor Burkhart, and he's another guy who can sport some Thomas flares like no other. And he's just fun to watch. He's got some really amazing talent. His scissor work is exceptional. Right, leaning right to handstand, comes back down, pops himself right into those Thomas flares. Look at him go. His hips get so high, and his straddle extension is just amazing. And here he does the traveling, spindling Magyar and the flare spindle across the pommels. Holy smokes, look at this guy. I just love watching this guy swing pommel horse because he just has complete command over what he's doing. And it looks like he's getting ready to pop up to his dismount. And good lordy, Taylor Burkhart, you just took over as my new hero on pommel horse. Sorry, JR.
Yeah.
Who do we have
both
next on the
routines
floor?
packed with those flare elements.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised he doesn't
Looks like
pull a
we
groin
have,
every time he does a routine.
Looks like we have Coy Young going up next on floor.
Yeah, he's the fourth out of
Coy
five
Young.
guys. And you know, the Team USA is going with 5 up on every event, and you know, they're all doing the all-around, it looks like. So every score counts. Another one of those double flipping skills, which is a requirement on floor. Small little hop, but done with extreme confidence and preparation for the landings. You know, Coy is another guy who knows exactly where that floor is. He knows where it is to punch. He knows where it is to land. And he almost took a step on a simple back layout. Wouldn't that have been funny?
Coy's gotten extremely good these past couple of years and had a heck of a performance at this past World Championships, scoring or getting 3 medals. First U.S. male gymnast to do that in a while.
Maybe forever.
Yeah, maybe.
We got, over in the still rings, we got our good friend from Stanford, Ian Gunther, competing over there kind of incognito for the Bay Area Bandits. I think the Bay Area Bandits are going to like this score on their team score today. I think we're going to look at that beautiful full twist and double layout. Came up just a little bit short, almost had the stick. He was digging his toenails in. He probably clipped his toenails earlier today and didn't have enough to dig in. So next time, Ian, don't be clipping your toenails the morning of a meet. Come on, dude, you know that.
Surprised he hasn't put that one on his social media account. He's a big social media sensation.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I mean, even Niles from Great Britain was over here just to kind of hang out with him on his social media, right? Who do we got here on the pommel horse? You following the lineup?
Yes, looks like we got Cayenne, also known as Peppa, on the team.
Cayenne Peppa. Yes, indeed. Oh, he is swinging spicy over here. Look at him go. His spicy flare travels, and you know, if he swings too much bigger, this Cayenne Pepper's going to fly into the judge's eyes, and they'll be blinded by it all. But you know, he's doing a good job here. He's having a little trouble on the dismount. Oh, he's swinging his arms like he's on a trapeze, and he's probably not super happy with the ending there. And maybe Tom Gleamy's going to give him a pat in the back and say, "Nice job, but let's get back in the gym and let's see if we can get that thing a little bit better." But Tom's out here with some of his top guys on his team, not on his Stanford team tonight, competing for Team USA. So he's given the guy like a Cayenne Peppa here a chance to get out there and show what he's doing. And all. When you have a team like Stanford, when you get so many great guys, it's hard to break into the lineup if you're not one of the national team guys. So an opportunity like this is amazing for these young guys, and it's important that you take advantage of those opportunities so that next time it's time to make a decision about the lineup, Tom's going to have some good information to go on. And Cayenne had a little trouble on that dismount, but it wasn't monumental. It'll hurt his score a little bit, but he's able to salvage it and not have a complete disaster at the end there. So Tom will take that into account, and hopefully he gives him another shot in the next meet or two.
A massive 14-6 for Coy Young on floor.
Yeah,
Team USA.
yeah, he's pretty good on floor.
And next up, it looks like we got Riley Luce.
Is Riley going to do the back handspring to single finger a little lower to planche in his routine? I love that skill.
I don't know. I hope so. Riley was one of my freshmen when I was a senior on the team.
Oh, so you guys crossed over on the Stanford team. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a head coach for the NCAA Minnesota Golden Gophers, I went out to Riley's home and did a home visit and visited him and his parents. He's got just a wonderful family. His parents are just great people, and every time I see him at a competition, they come up and they wish me well. So it's the gymnastics community is a really tight-knit group, and I love the fact that the parents are so engaged in their kids' activities, and just it's the parents that make this world of gymnastics go around.
Totally. And that was just Brandon Wynn on the pommel horse for Team Stanford. Great way to finish the run there.
I tell you what, Brandon Wynn is a gymnast that I've always admired, and he's, maybe overshadowed a little bit with some of the guys that are in the Stanford gym, but holy smokes, this kid can get it done. He's doing some big stuff. I had a nice chat with Tom Gleamy the other day, and he's doing some high-powered stuff, and, it's still kind of a little bit in the early part of the season where some of the longer routines, they're still trying to get their routine, conditioning in to be able to get through some high-level gymnastics, which is nothing. It's the only thing that comes out of the Stanford gym anymore, high-level gymnastics. So Tom Gleamy's building himself a dynasty out there, and David, you've been part of that, and it's great to see it continuing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the event summary here. We're waiting on Riley's score on the floor exercise and Sam's score on the still rings over at Bay Area Bandit, and so it looks like. Riley's score is going to pop them into probably close to a 70-something, right? Looks like Stanford on horse pulled up with a 68.4. Their low score was the 12.6 from Cayenne, so his dismount did kind of impact the score a bit. But J.R. Chow put up a big 14.4, and Luke McFarland, holy smokes, look at that. We talked about it when he was swinging. He is a high-level pommel horse guy. He did a really nice job for 14.25. And you see some pretty big scores over there from Team USA. And look at that. Who's that guy? Asher Hong with a 15.05. We talked about that guy just tumbling through the roof. They're going to have to raise the roof at Asher Pavilion. Burnham Pavilion. Maybe they should name it after Asher, after his career here at at Stanford, at the farm. Hey, how come they call it the farm? Is there like a lot of farm animals out there at Stanford, or is it just I don't get it, the farm.
I think that dates back a while. I don't know the original history behind it. Maybe because we have a bunch of trees. No, I don't know. I think it started out initially like a small, I think like a farm, and then eventually it expanded to what it is now today. But
doesn't the CIA or the FBI some of those agencies on the East Coast, they have like a place called the farm where they teach people how to shoot and they teach people how to do hand-to-hand combat. Isn't that the farm? Did they do that kind of stuff at the Stanford farm? Or?
Oh gosh. Only when people aren't looking, yeah.
Oh man. So anyway, this is okay. Riley's score came up. Nice job, 14.2. So yeah, they broke into the 70s with a 71.55 for floor exercise, and as we said, Stanford's at a 68.4 on the pommel horse. But that's a good score for pommel horse. It's a tough event to score big on. And Bay Area is pulling in third place with a 58.5. But I'm really happy with Bay Area being able to be here and kind of giving their guys an experience of a lifetime to be on the same floor as Asher Hong and Colt Walker and all the guys that are coming out of the Stanford gym, and to be right in that neighborhood and be part of that is really pretty cool.
Totally. And if you look at the next to the scores in a smaller number, that's the start value that the athlete started at. So, for example, if we're looking at Asher Hong, it says 6.3. So he started at his maximum score he could give was a 16.3. So then he got about 1.3 tenths in deduction on that routine. And that goes the same for all the other athletes that you see on this screen.
Yeah, judging routines is a little bit of a complex art, and you have to have obviously some background in gymnastics to know what you're looking at. But the FIG code of points kind of is our holy bible of gymnastics scoring, and then the NCAA coaches have put a few modifications onto the FIG scores, and then GymAct, which also has some in GymAct modifications that provide some varying degrees of adjustments to scores that maybe make things a little bit easier to not be hit so hard. And those are the modifications that we get to use. And but the FIG code is clearly the king of it all from a protocol, a documentation protocol. So everything starts with the big code of points. Then we go down to the NCAA modifications. And then we go to the GymAct modifications. But since this is an NCAA style meet, the GymAct modifications would not be used for the GymAct team. So they have to compete under the same rules that the NCAA gymnasts are competing under. And, it's interesting because Team USA, they wouldn't be competing in an international competition, for instance, with the NCAA modifications. So I think they're getting the advantage of the NCAA modifications tonight, just so the judges don't have to kind of judge in three different versions of the code of points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. It's funny you brought up the code of points, our holy grail to gymnastics. When I was little, I was always fascinated about gymnastics, watched videos all the time, and my coach told me, it's like, here, he handed me the code of points. He said, go study this, and I did. And a couple days later, I knew the name of every skill in there.
Yeah, but you're probably one of those guys with a super high IQ and a photographic memory.
I don't know about that.
Well, what are you doing right now? Like tomorrow, Monday, when you get back to what you're doing on a daily basis, what actually are you doing right now, David?
Sure. Yeah, I just finished my second year of med school, so if I get back on Monday, I'll probably be studying. I take step 1 of the boards on February 28th, so getting ready for that, and rotations start in April, so
wow,
lots to look forward to in that.
That's impressive, and good for you. Kudos to you, and just your willingness and dedication to making yourself a better person and providing a service to society when you get out and finish your med school and then your residency. And what field are you going into? You probably don't know yet, maybe.
Still got time to figure that out, but I think I'm a little biased towards orthopedics, so
there you go.
We'll see. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Well, we're getting ready to start round 2 here, rotation 2, and Riley Luce's score on the floor exercise looked like it was adjusted from a 14.2 down to a 14.1. So I hope the coach didn't give an inquiry and then they said, "Oh, you're right, he should get a lower score." If you're a coach and telling the judges you scored your guy too high, I don't think you're doing your job. The only time a coach should be inquiring is trying to get a higher score for their gymnast, right? So it looks like we got who's going over to Team USA? We got Team USA is going over to pommel horse, right? And Stanford's like going over to the rings. And
Jeremy Bischoff looks like it's going to lead the way for Team USA on the pommel horse.
Okay. And I wonder, David, if they're going to do the staggered first guy in each event on every rotation, or did they just do that on the very first rotation? We'll have to wait and see. It looks like they are starting with floor.
Mm-hmm. Evan Hyman's
staggering
on the floor.
Yep. So as soon as he finishes,
Evan
it's just on Jeremy. Nice job. A little overcooked on that double front, and it'll take a big step forward. And unfortunately, went out of bounds. So it'll be a 1/10 deduction for out of bounds. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, not the end of the world because every single 10th counts. So if he gave away a little bit there, he's going to have to get some back somewhere else. It looks like Jeremy's getting ready to start things on the pommel horse. So I think the staggering was only for that very first round and the very first rotation.
Yeah, you brought up a good point about, you know, every 10th matters. I remember Tom always stressed, even if you fell, you know, you have to get back up and finish it as if, you know, nothing ever happened, because you want to give away the least amount you can, because you never know what happens in the end.
Exactly. And you know what happens in a gymnast's mind, and you're a lot closer to the end of your career than I am, but you know, when you have a mistake, maybe you fall off the pommel horse, or you struggle through a landing on floor, or you know, you fall out of a handstand on rings, you go through this like emotional spike, right? You're kind of like, I'm letting the team down, everything kind of blows up on you. And I think it's really important to find a way as a gymnast to be able to go, okay, I cannot do a thing about that, but if I keep focusing on that, guess what? Everything I still have left to do is going to be a bit of a problem. So I think it's really important to find a way to mentally take that emotional spike and drop that amplitude down as far as you can to get it back to a level that's manageable, you know. And I think part of being successful in gymnastics is being able to manage not only the physicality of it all, but the mental game. Because there's you know, not a lot of room for error in our sport. You know, it's a high level of precision, and you know, if I was a baseball player and I was successful 30% of the time, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. If I'm a gymnast and I'm successful 30% of the time, you're riding the bench and you're never going to see the lineup, right? So we have a different standard of what is acceptable in terms of success. And you know, you get guys like Colt Walker and Jeremy Bischoff.
That was a
doing
great
these
stick
things
for Maroon on rings.
Oh, was it? I missed it. I was watching Colt's pommel horse. What did he do? A double twist and double back?
Laid out full twisting, or full twisting double layout. Yes.
Gotcha. Colt's working through some very intricate travels here and doing a pretty nice job. He had a little struggle there. Oh, nice save. So that's what I was just talking about. That emotional spike. He had almost a fall on that end of that rock. Split his legs, bounced off his butt, scraped the horse, and he just scratched and clawed his way back to a pretty good circle. Because he's the kind of guy that's never going to let something like that get in the way of his success. And I give him a lot of kudos. And why do you think this guy is as successful as he is? Because he can do that. And, you know, a man with lesser intestinal fortitude might still be chalking up taking his 30 seconds, because that was a great fight. And all you young gymnasts out there watching this, if you don't know how to fight on pommel horse, you better get your boxing gloves out, because you're going to be dealing with fights on pommel horse your whole life.
That's right. Yeah, Tom always stressed the idea of staying in the moment. And, you know, as soon as you let something interfere with that, you start thinking about what you did, that's when more mistakes happen. So staying in the moment's a big thing, yeah. Really important, yep. On the floor for Bay Area Bandits, looks like we have Andrew Kersner.
Kirshner, yep.
And on rings for Stanford is Reese Landsberger.
We got Asher Hong over on the pommel horse. We got a lot of action going on right now. And got to give the judges a lot of credit, because they got that score up pretty quick and got Asher going right away. And Asher's popping out those flare skills, and 360 Russian on one pommel. That was nice. Oh, ran into a little trouble. Had an emotional spike. He got it right back where he needs to go. Oh, but it just was too much. All right, so he had some serious fighting going on there, and it just kind of snowballed on him on the end of that flop sequence. And when you get in trouble like that, what happens is your heart rate goes up, and you start to try to play catch up on the skill, and sometimes you can get it, and sometimes you can't. Today wasn't Asher's day on the saving it from the fire pit.
Yeah, when something like that happens, you go down, you have 30 seconds to recoup and get back up and hit the best you can. And it looks like he did just that. Nice finish there for Asher.
It's funny because when you fall off in a meet where every score counts, so this is a 5-up, 5-count format. So that fall costs his team a point. Now, if you can't shake that off and you go back up and you're freaking out and your arms are shaking and you're all like, oh my God, I let my team down and everything, and you don't focus and you fall off again, guess what? Now you cost the team 2 points. And every one of those falls is counting against your team. So if you have a 1-fall routine, you better not ever let it turn into a 2-fall routine. I think that's a really critical thing to know in a team sport like gymnastics is, the way the NCAA runs it, 5-up, 5-count. Those 2-fall routines will take you down in the standings faster than you know what through a goose.
Looks like we got Will
There's
Pierce
our
on the
boy
floor.
Will Pierce on the floor. Looks like he just came down from the mountains to compete at Burnham Pavilion today.
Yeah, I give him major kudos for being coaching and doing gymnastics. I can only imagine how much effort.
I'm on the phone with him periodically regarding Gym Act, logistics and things, and he is doing a bang-up job and just finding a way to pull this team together and find ways to be in meets like this. And actually, I think from what I heard is Tom Gleamy reached out to him and invited them to the meet because they wanted a third team in this competition. And Will's like, heck yeah, we can drive here? This is beautiful. Oh, and was that a stuck dismount on the floor exercise out of big Will Pierce?
Hard to see from here, but I think so.
I think he had some 3M sticky notes on the bottom of his feet, and they paid off tonight.
It's can't really see the floor judge from this angle, but the judges have a green flag that they like to lift when, I guess they have to when you stick it.
Sometimes the judge goes so caught up in what they're doing that they forget to raise the green flag. And I tell you, if you want to see a college coach just go kind of ballistic, they go running over. Where's the stick? Oh, yeah, I forgot it. Give me a break, coach, The thing I love about Tom Gleamy, he keeps really meticulous notes during a meet, and he knows exactly what start values should be coming up. And he's the king of inquiries and wins them most of the time.
Is that right?
I think. Well, at least what I've seen, yeah, he's got pretty good knowledge of what his guys are doing, and when sometimes a judge will make a mistake and miss a skill, or poor Riley, he was going so nice on that routine, and so Coach Mark's going to come over here and kind of give him some words of wisdom. He's going, well, I guess we could go through a kind of a scenario, what he might be saying. It's like, Riley, what the heck? Get your ass back up there and hit that staccato. Or Riley, it's okay. Just get back up, see if you get back into the groove. Different coaches have different approaches to talking to the gymnasts at the chalk tray. And I think
trying to intimidate Mark ever saying,
right?
Saying something like that. He's always the most kind-hearted one.
Yes,
good finish for Riley, yeah.
So,
Mark
these
Freeman
guys are...
he was a gymnast for Great Britain. I think competed at 2003 World Championships.
I believe you're right. I know he was a national team guy from Great Britain and ended up getting recruited and going to Cal Berkeley and had a great NCAA career there and coached at Berkeley for a little bit. And then Tom kind of recruited him over across the bay, and he's been doing great things with the Stanford program. So this is a very interesting lull in the action, which with 3 events going on at once, you wonder how could that happen. And here we go on floor, getting things back rolling. Who do we have here?
Ian Gunther.
This is Ian Gunther. Oh! He looked like he was doing the drunk driver test on a Saturday night there.
Or Tom would call it the Russian Cossack.
The key to a good, successful routine on floor is trying to minimize those landing deductions as best as you can. You saw he did that. I think it was a 2.5 to a front full, and he took a sizable hop out of the landing of the front full, and that'll probably take up a 3/10 deduction. And if you have like 5 landings on floor and they're all 3/10 deductions, holy smokes, that's 1.5 of deductions just on the hop. So, it can add up really, really fast. So, spending time landing techniques and learning how to absorb the floor as opposed to kind of continually punching the floor when you land. That's a hard thing to learn, and if you can find a way to minimize those landing deductions, your score is going to start to really rise up in the leaderboard.
For sure. And on pommel horse now we have Coy Young. We're going to see a great set from here. Beautiful pommel horse worker. And simultaneously we have, I believe, Mark Berlaga on the rings, who was a Stanford boys gymnast and then moved up to the Stanford varsity team. Good to see.
Look at that. Look at that inverted crotch. I don't see many that good. Oh, Coy is just like he's like a bubbling brook flowing down a mountainside the way he swings pommel horse. He's just gliding. Look at that, man. Oh, every time I give a compliment, something bad goes on. I better be quiet. Yeah, look at the precision. Look at the precision on these still ring strength positions. My goodness, this guy he doesn't have tendons. He has piano wire in his body. I mean, he is just put together. Nice job.
Nice
Good fight for the
stick.
Oh, and then he does the archer maneuver into the stands, and people are cheering for him. I love it. I love it when gymnasts kind of play to the crowd because, honestly, David, if you think about it, we are a performance sport. Well, every sport's a performance, and we're entertainment, right? Now, when you're out there competing, you don't think of yourself as a performer or an entertainer. You're thinking of yourself as a competitor. And one of the things that helped me become a better competitor was focusing on the performance as opposed to the competition. And when I took that adjustment to how I looked at things, my performance has got so much better because I was less worried about the competition and more focused on how am I going to please the spectators. And for what that's worth, for people out there watching, you might want to think about that as an option to how you approach your mental game of the sport. And part of being a gymnast, I think, is being willing and able and capable of showing off. And as much time and effort and sweat and tears that you put into your training to be ready for a meet, why would you go out there and go, oh, I hope I don't miss? Go out there and show the world what you've been doing with your time. Because that effort is just monumental, Herculean in so many ways. And, it's interesting. We're an individual sport. Like when you're out there competing, it's just you. But as part of a team, David, you can attest to this because you've been on some championship teams. When you're out there, your team has got your back the entire time as you're going through that routine. And that's the strength and power and attraction of collegiate gymnastics. Whether it's Team USA guys going like this, Stanford or the Bay Area Bandits, they all have the same thing in common, where the team is a strength with so much force that kind of fires into each guy's individual effort. And it's just a beautiful thing, and I just admire the coaches who know how to bring a team together and get everybody, in spite of their individual differences, having something really strong in common they can all put their efforts behind. And Stanford's been doing it now 4 years in a row, winning the national title. You don't do that without a good culture in your gym.
Yeah, that's what we call the gestalt, that the team is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yes, it's very synergistic, right? And you find a way, and everybody, I kind of look at populations as circles. Each person is a circle, and not every circle is right on top of each other. They're all a little bit different, upbringings and backgrounds and whatever. But they all have a commonality, and that's what they do in that gym every day. And that commonality is what glues the team together. All right, we got the event summary up. Let's see who took popped up some good scores here. We got a couple of 13s on the floor out of the Bay Area Bandits. That's nice work. Pommel Horse was a little bit of a struggle. Poor Young obviously took things under control, and Jeremy started off with a good solid score of a 13-6. And Verlaga, the strong man over there with piano wires for tendons, he's got a 14-4 and kind of topped it off for Stanford today. And Arun Chirte almost broke into the 14s with a nice 13-8. So I think he was the first guy up and did a nice job. And you know, that leadoff guy in each event is really, really important. And I think as a coach, you know, you're always kind of looking for the guy that can get the ball rolling. And especially on pommel horse, you know, you want the first guy on pommel horse. You got to hope that, like, you know that, like, 95% chance this guy's going to hit. And that's what you need, because if you have a fall and that first guy up, you got to stop that bleeding. And if the second guy's not your most stellar competitor, that bleeding could turn into a just massacre, you know. So it's really important from a coaching standpoint, the structure and strategy of your lineup. And Jeremy got a great start going for Team USA there.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Mike. You know, obviously you want everyone on the team to be strong competitors, but I'd say the first and the last are probably the most important spots. You know, you want to make a good impression on that first routine, and then that last one you want to close it off with a bang.
Exactly. It's like a good sales pitch. And you're selling yourself to the judges, right? So it is a sales pitch. So you start out with a great, opening remarks, and then you put some of the soybean filler in there, and then you finish it up with a great ending. And my old friend and mentor, Newt Loken, who was a gymnast at Minnesota back in the day and then coached at Michigan for 37 years, he always told me, Mike, if you have to speak in front of a crowd, make sure you have a good beginning and a good ending and put them close together. And I always thought that was a great way to kind of look at public speaking and just kind of get it done and kind of catch them, throw the information you need to them, and then finish it up with either a good story or a good joke or something that's going to inspire them to listen to you longer next time you talk. So here we are on the floor exercise.
Underway. Yeah, we got Toma Murakawa for Stanford on floor. Great double pike to start.
Nice. This guy's got some springs in those legs, man. He's getting himself up there. Oh yeah, the obligatory cartwheel quarter turn dive roll. You gotta love that pass. He goes into his 1080 Russian, and I'm sure his head's spinning a little bit right now. He's spinning around at the speed of light. I'm sure he still kind of spinning when he went into that split a little bit. Now there's a wide arm press that's got his chin almost on the ground. Holy smokes. And that's what the judges are looking for now in that wide arm press. If you don't have your head within millimeters of the floor, you're going to get a deduction. So that was really well done. And I think what he should do is make sure he never cuts his hair on his bangs. So his bangs will hang down closer to the floor, and it'll look like he's actually closer than he really is. Oh, nice.
Sick. You know, I don't know where the reference came from, but we used to call, if you stuck every pass on the floor routine, a golden sombrero.
Yes.
So I don't know if that was every pass, but maybe a silver or a bronze sombrero.
It may be. I think there's a golden sombrero, and then there's a baseball cap. There's no in between. Oh no! First skill after the scissor. Evan takes a hit on the check here. Now, he will not get credit for that check here because he fell before he came back to a front support. So he's going to have to repeat that skill if he wants to get credit for it. And the thing about these rules about you got to finish a skill in a front support is the front support. So he finished it there. He's obviously capable of doing that. And something went haywire for a moment there, and you can see him just kind of roll his eyes as he went to chalk up. He can't believe it himself that he wasn't still on the horse on a relatively simple skill, and obviously he showed his capability. But what he just did, so he had that fall. He's upset. He's pissed off, and he went up and he kind of took charge. And sometimes you got to take the approach before you start your routine like you already fell off once. And if you can go up a little bit upset and hit the rest of that set like that, maybe you start with that mentality. And I'll tell you a funny story later about how I used that to my advantage for a kid when I coached at Michigan. Who's this on the still rings? That guy is strong.
Yeah, Jeremy Bischoff is showing off.
I like this. I like this guy's gymnastics.
Me too. My senior year, we recruited. He was one of the recruits coming in for the following class, so I never got the pleasure of overlapping with him.
Yeah. We recruited him at Minnesota as well, and him and his mom came out for a visit. They loved it out here, and same thing. Oh, so if you get into Stanford, you're gonna go? Yeah, probably. They got tired, trying to battle Tom for great recruits, but if you don't try, you don't get them, right? And
right.
We never tried to bring recruits out to Minnesota in February because it was kind of cold, but we actually have a warm spell going on out here right now, David. You should come out. It's balmy. It's a balmy 30 degrees today.
Oh, wow. We actually had a warm spell of 60, which is an actual warm spell.
All right,
On the floor, we have Zach Green, who is actually also a Stanford boys gymnast.
Oh, yeah.
And I had the pleasure of coaching him a little bit. Nice.
So our guy on pommel horse is running into some troubles over here. I think this is Andrew Kirschner, and it's kind of one of those things where the bleeding starts and it's hard to stop it. So I got to give Andrew a lot of credit for getting back up there. You can see he's got some struggles with his circle technique, but he's out there giving it a really good effort. And Bay Area needs his score. He's had a couple of falls right now, so his score's not going to be outstanding, but he needs to find a way to kind of go up and attaboy. That's what I like. He's not giving up. I think that's a really key thing. It's unfortunate to watch this, and he's gonna watch the video after the meet and go, boy, I got to get better. And honestly, that's all you really can try to do. And these guys are in the gym every day, doing their best, and they're at the level that they're at. And Andrew, big smile. I like it. He's enjoying the fact that he's out there competing against the Asher Hongs of the world in this gym. So kudos to him.
Yeah, good fight for him. I believe that was actually Sam Cohen.
Oh, okay.
On the pommel horse.
Yep, you're right. I'm looking at the previous lineup that we got sent a couple of days ago, and it's been a few changes. So I got to keep my eye on the Virtius ticker down below.
And that was a great routine for Colt Walker there on rings.
Colt's got so much power, and what has happened since he's been at Stanford is his power has been turned into finesse, and he's really turned into a bit of an elegant gymnast. Before he was just kind of a strong bull and he could get through things, but Tom and what's gone on at Stanford has kind of cleaned that up quite a bit and made him a world contender, actually a member of the world championship team. So a lot of great things happening in that training gym right off of Burnham Pavilion here.
Oh yeah. We have Taylor Burkhardt here on floor, showing off his flare work here. You can hear Tom and the guys in the back yelling "breathe," reminding him to not lose oxygen.
You think breathing would be a natural thing to do. We all do it every day. We fall asleep and we continue to breathe. But when you do gymnastics, sometimes it's hard to remember that. And then you get to your dismounts and go, why am I about to pass out? Oh, I haven't been breathing. They should put a little oxygen tank in the last corner just in case. I recruited Taylor also when he was coming out of high school. And I got to tell you, if you don't know Taylor, he is one of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. And we had some of the most outstanding conversations in our recruiting calls. Like we would talk recruiting, 10 minutes, and then we would talk almost an hour, and just life. And it was some of the most enjoyable recruiting calls I ever had with a 17, 18-year-old young man. And it gave me a lot of hope in the future of America with guys like Taylor Burkhardt out there doing the things he's doing.
That's great to hear.
I like what I'm seeing right here out of Brandon. He's going through kind of his mental preparation and some physical kind of rehearsal drills and what he's thinking about doing. So what he should be doing right now, kind of giving himself a couple of performance statements about what he wants to do on this first pass. And it's probably it's either a combination pass, which requires a little more finesse with power, or just an all-out power tumbling thing, like a double twist and double back or full twist and double layout. So, and each one of your passes in your routine has a different arousal level that you're going to need in order to, perform it successfully. And that's the hard part about floor exercise. You have these differing levels of intensity on skills, and you got to be able to turn it up and turn it down at the drop of a hat from pass to pass to be able to make that thing flow really smoothly. And we'll see if all of the rehearsal things that Brandon was just going through pay off in his routine. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's probably going to pay off. Oh, did you see that?
Wow.
Did you see that stick on the still rings, David? I hope you saw that.
That. Yes.
That was a thing of beauty, I tell you. You just don't see that every day.
That was a great show of strength. Oh.
All right, Brandon, here we go.
Very few in the world do that one.
Right. Look at that. Smooth sailing, baby. Okay, so you saw that
ownership of this team.
Oh, Brandon has nice.
Oh yes, captain of the team.
Wow.
First, I believe MPSF gymnast of the week last week.
Nice.
As a senior, it's a lot of growth there. It's good to see.
Well, as college coaches, David, we have the I think enviable job of taking a kid who just comes out of high school at the age of 17 or 18, and he's going to go out the other end at the age of 21 or 22. And our job as college coaches is to prepare them for that. And I always tell my guys, my job is to make myself obsolete in your life by the time you graduate, by providing you tools and how to manage adversity and things like that. And we use gymnastics as kind of a training ground of what life is all about. Because, as you know, David, you've been through it, gymnastics will serve you up a dish of adversity every day. And it'll come in shovelfuls sometime. And, it would be really easy to say, screw it, I'm done. Put your arms up. But these guys don't do it. They just keep coming back and say, do you want to hit me in the face with a shovel? Hit me again and see how hard I get back up. So, and that's what you need. You need that kind of willingness to be the Rocky of the gym, and just not let no be an answer for you.
Right. I totally agree. A lot of life lessons that have come from, at least for me anyway, doing gymnastics. You overcome adversity every day in the gym, and you just learn to deal with it and keep going and roll with the punches. And I think life's a lot like that. You just gotta keep moving forward. And
well, you're finishing up your second year of med school, getting ready to go in your clinical rotation soon, and I would imagine that what you're experiencing is like, holy smokes, I'm seeing some things, or I'm about to see some things, real world people struggling with health issues, and you got to be the guy that's going to provide the treatments and the surgeries, whatever we'll talk about that in a moment. But, you got to be that guy. So you've been well prepared by what you've gone through in your gym every day of your gymnastics life. And your patients are gonna thank you for that, and you're gonna pay it forward with thanking Tom for allowing you to have that opportunity at Stanford. So it's a great cycle of leadership that kind of goes on in our sport. All right, so that was a great last couple of passes for this guy on floor. He sat down on the full double full pass.
Here.
This is Cayenne Pepper, dude. All right, so Cayenne, kudos to you. Because you had that fall. Hey, you can't do a thing about it now. So get out and do the rest of your routine like you mean business. And he's taking that to heart. Holy smokes, I'm really impressed with this. That tells a lot about a person, how they manage it. Because we've been kind of talking about whole night about the adversity that the sport will dish us up. And okay, he had a mistake. But, you know, I had a 2.5 front layout that he stuck, a near perfect triple full. So good for him that he didn't let that fall take him down the rabbit hole. Because how many times have you seen guys have a fall and they go down the rabbit hole? And as a coach, what we have to do is dive down into that rabbit hole, grab him by the ankle, and yank his butt out of that hole and put him back where he needs to be. And, oh, that was a nice Maltese press to planche on the still rings. Is this Riley? He's a strong little guy.
Riley, yeah.
You know, you look at Riley.
Also
and
a social media sensation here.
Right. He certainly is. He's a king of TikTok, isn't he? Or,
yeah, it all started with the back handspring to straight planche.
Right?
Uh-huh. Dismount
I love his dismount. Boom!
Oh, good stick.
I think he sticks that thing like 100% of the time. I don't think I've ever seen him not stick that double-double. He does it so effortlessly. It's crazy. Ouch.
Oh.
All right.
I believe this is Andrew.
Oh, this is Andrew. Yeah, I was looking at the floor lineup when I was talking earlier. And Andrew was trying the sewn, which is a really difficult skill, and he just got a little early on the turn and didn't get a good support in that hand, so it kind of took him down. Let's see if he tries it again. Oh, that was interesting. He did the check here, and he kind of stumble-bumped his hand, and he was able to get his hand back on the pommel. That was impressive. So this guy's got the makings of a guy who can manage adversity. It hasn't been honed to a high level yet, but you know what? Just has to keep trying to get through those moments in practice. That's important. Because, you know, in practice, maybe just jump off if you have a little trouble like that. And you better keep pushing through in practice so you know how to handle it if it happens in a meet.
That's right. Yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit, but, you know, there's a good art to improv as a gymnast. That was a great finish for him. But, yeah, that improv, you know, especially on pommel horse, being able to keep going, and even if it wasn't the intended skill that you were, you know, trying to do, to keep it with the routine and, you know, getting to the end regardless.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the more important things that you'll learn. You know, I think our sport is funny, David, because we've always kind of been hearing the word perfection, like the perfect 10, right? And I outlaw the word perfection and perfect in my gym. I do not want it in my gym, and here's why. In the history of the world, there's only been one man that's been perfect, okay? And he's no longer with us. But not a single person out there is perfect. You know, these guys have been around a long time ago. But anyway, so these guys have this perfection thing kind of burnt into them from an early age. Oh, we got to be perfect 10, you know? And I'm kind of glad we don't have the perfect 10 anymore, because it kind of creates this level of angst, I think, in little gymnasts, thinking if I'm not perfect, I must not be good. You know, and I always tell people, I said, if you were perfect, you would be successful. But you can be successful without being perfect. And I think that's important to realize, that perfection is something to maybe strive for, with the understanding that it's kind of fleeting and impossible to achieve. But success is something that you can achieve by virtue of going out and managing the adversity that you have in these routines. And look at this guy go.
Yeah.
Will Pierce, you might
be
turning into my new hero on pommel horse. Look at this guy go.
Wow, very good finish.
I am impressed. Okay, good for you, Will Pierce.
Will.
Love you, dude. Love you. Look at the hairdo and everything. Wow. You should get a sponsorship with Head and Shoulders or something. He's a happy camper.
You can with
man.
name, image, likeness now.
Was that our last guy on the pommel horse? I think it was, right?
I believe so. And I think that was for the all-around spot, if I'm correct, because he was sixth guy.
Okay.
I'm going to go move pommel horse. How's that?
Well, see, Andrew, you know, yeah, he had a little trouble there. He had 3 or 4 falls, so that brings the score down pretty low. And you can't throw that score out because it's a 5-up, 5-count format. So Sam,
that's unfortunate
oh boy,
to see.
Sam had a little struggle. So between Sam and Andrew, they just just about got an 11. So that's gonna drop their potential to beat Stanford and Team USA down just a bit today. But you know what they got to do?
Yeah.
They got 3 more routines. They got 3 more events, and they got to go out and just do the best they can on those 3 events.
Exactly. It's not over till it's over. Some highlights. We see Asher Hong, 15-2 over there on the rings.
Holy
Riley
shit.
Lewis, 14-5-5. Massive scores for those USA guys. Over on Stanford, a couple 14s. And then on horse, Ian Gunther and Will Pierce. Very good showing. Too bad he was in the all-around spot, so his score didn't count for the 5-man
They could have used his score. Yep. You know what he probably did, though? He goes, okay, I will put myself in the all-around because I'm going to give one of my guys an opportunity to compete. So, you know, maybe Sam wasn't hitting enough routines in practice to make the lineup, and Will should have been in the lineup, but he maybe took one for the team, put himself in the all-around spot, opened up a competitive spot for Sam to go in, because I'm not sure if Sam's doing the all-around. My guess is probably not. So, you know, from a coaching decision standpoint, you look at that, you go, yeah, I should have put myself in there. But from an opportunity standpoint, and giving a guy a chance to get out there and see what it's like under the big city lights, I think that's a noble thing to do as a coach.
I guess from a coach's perspective, would you say that it's like kind of a test to see how they respond, you know, in the lineup under that pressure?
Absolutely, because eventually you're going to have to put a championship lineup together for the end of the season championship meet. And if you don't have an opportunity to see a guy in action to see if he's capable of dealing with it, and you may have to use him at the end, you'd hope you have something to back yourself up with a good decision. But, you know, so what Sam's going to have to do is get back in the gym and spend some time on figuring out how to hit that check here. You know, he was basically turning too early and his shoulders got too far forward and he couldn't manage the leverage aspect of it. So, you know, pommel horse is just basic physics and, you know, leverage. And you can lean and you can push, you can do pommel horse. But if you don't lean properly, you can't push properly, then pommel horse falls apart. So if you try to turn it into a simplest form of what it is, it's like walking down the street. You know, we just happen to be doing it on our hands instead of our feet, so it's a little more challenging. Well, it looks like we have an intermission here, maybe. Taking a little bit longer to get things moving. Maybe had to, I know what it was. They had to move the judges to the last 3 events. So it looks like probably the parallel bar judges came from pommel horse. The vaulting judges came from floor, and the high bar judges came from ring. So they got to move the table, get the place situated. And then they're probably doing the 2-minute touch right now. And, you know, maybe our cameramen are moving their cameras, and we got a little bit of a downtime here. So this is a good opportunity to kind of talk about some of the things we're talking about from a performance standpoint, like gymnastics as a performance sport or a performance art, if you would. You know, how do you go out there to do things that are going to be pleasing to the eye, which in turn would be pleasing to your score? You know, because what's a judge looking at? A judge is looking for all your mistakes. And, you know, if you can hide your mistakes, then the judges won't see them. And you hide your mistakes by being technically astute and being able to be strong enough and flexible enough to do the things you got to do, right? So all the preparation stuff, you know, physical conditioning and air awareness and all those kind of things that would help you get ready for that time when you're going to be out there competing. And it looks like we got things underway with our first vaulter. Looks like Team USA. Who was that? Was that a Kazumatsu?
Jeremy Bischoff. Yep,
well, that
Alea
was,
Kazumatsu.
Yep.
A little bit of a easier vault compared to some of the other ones that we're going to see.
Yep. And this is an interesting mount on the parallel bars, the side free hip to handstand pirouette in. That is a really challenging mount, and he did that like it was nothing. Oh my God!
And right here,
there's some serious stuff going on parallel bars right now. This is David Shama, I believe, freshman this year. I think he is.
Yep, freshman, and very strong as we can tell.
And look at how precise his handstands are, his positions, his line, everything he's doing. A near stick on that dismount. That was a gosh darn beautiful routine, and he did it with such. That was what we're talking about, David, right there. He performed that routine. He didn't just do a routine. He performed that routine like he was an artist. That was beautiful.
And that's not something you can just learn right away. That comes with time and experience and practice, and everyone has their own style of performing.
Exactly, and I think when you put yourself in a team setting, and the culture of the team kind of helps you create that desire, if nothing else, to be a better performer. We got Evan Hymanson over here on the high bar, just a nice straddle piatti. He's coming in for his German Giants. He almost biffed coming out of that back hip into the German. He popped off a little early, and his hand almost came off the bar. So that was a great save. This is one of those moments where the routine did not go anywhere like it was supposed to. And he was in panic mode for about a millisecond, and then he got right back on track. So that's what it's about, all you young guys out there trying to become great gymnasts. Make sure you find a way to manage your affairs while you're doing your gymnastics, because it's never, ever going to go completely your plan. But you got a plan.
Yeah, great routine for Evan. And just side story, that piatti he did in the women's code of points, it's called a Rična, which was performed first by my mom, who competed for former Czechoslovakia.
You got to be kidding me. I am doing commentary with gymnastics royalty family. Oh my gosh, that is great. You tell your mom how much we appreciate what she's done. And she plays some trails.
Of course. Looks like we have Koi Young coming up on vault.
I heard Koi Young's a pretty good vaulter. Doesn't he have a world championship medal?
Oh, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, silver medal on the vault, as we can.
Oh man.
Oh, and that's why.
Yeah, I almost pulled off that stick. That was impressive. Mm-hmm. All right, so he's doing the same. Arun's doing the same mount that David did a minute ago. He overshot it just a little bit, and he had to make that adjustment. And here we are, finding ways to deal with something that's not quite according to the way you'd like it to be. And he just got right back on track and made it happen. So good for him. Mm-hmm. Who's this on high bar? This is Ian. I love this guy's high bar. He is doing some very original stuff. And just how we got out of that.
Actually, I was going to say that skill is actually one that he submitted to be named after him in the code of points.
Yes, it should be. Has he done it in a international competition? He did, didn't he?
Actually, at the in Czech Republic, him and a couple of the other guys, Blake Soon and Taylor Burkhart, they were competed at a mixed pair competition called the Sokol Grand Prix. And I don't know what the final verdict on that was, but he performed it there in hopes of having it named after him.
Well, I had the... Oh, no. Oh, Ian, what happened? Looks like his legs just gave out. Too much time on social media, maybe. You got to get back in the gym, do some ball squats or something. He can't believe it himself. He's like, are you kidding me? Did I just fall down? I think he said, I went fall down and I go boom. And, you just never want to do that. It's kind of an embarrassing moment. And he obviously is a high-level athlete who has much more capabilities than that. And that's just like maybe a moment of just a little bit over rotation and floor wasn't quite where we thought it was going to be. And all of a sudden you're looking at the lights, and that's unfortunate. But, good for him. He's going to learn from that. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're bound to repeat them. So So we got a little lull in the action. All three events are waiting on the judges. It's interesting how you kind of go independent, and sometimes all three are going at the same time, and then other times like this, nothing's going on, and it's like, come on, somebody! Now here we go, three guys going all at the same time.
This is going to be, if this is Asher Hong on vault, I believe, or actually, I think he already went. This might be Riley now. Yes, Riley. And Taylor Burkhart on parallel bars.
Oh. Who was that on vault? Vault?
Riley Luce.
Well, that was Riley. That was nice. He is a twisting machine. He's like a human top.
And on high bar, we have an old teammate of mine, Blake Soon. Only
Blake, yeah,
a year under me.
Blake always impressed me. Just his like, he has this like speed thing going, right? Like everything's kind of in not fast motion, but controlled, like acceleration of things at the right time. And his parallel bars, obviously, his underbar work, and just phenomenal.
Yeah, we'll see that soon.
And, yes, and just a high level gymnast on the high bar, and like a little bit overcooked. You know, he got a little hung up on the dismount, so he felt like he needed a little extra rotation. Piked it down just a smidge too much and overshot the landing zone. So we had to take that kind of 3/10 hop backwards, which was too bad. But he's fun to watch. I look at gymnastics and I go, who is fun to watch? And then I'm going to watch those guys. And obviously the top guys are fun to watch. But even the top guys who are fun to watch have issues that they got to manage. And those who manage best usually win. Is this Brandon coming up on P-bars?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a kid who's had a really nice career at Stanford. Kind of been, like I said earlier, kind of been overshadowed by some of the big names that have been on the team with him. But I like what you said, because I wasn't aware of it, David, that he's really taken on a lot of leadership qualities and the team captain. And sometimes the best leaders are the ones who maybe the kind of behind the scenes that actually are the kind of the horse whisperers, right? They go around and talk to guys. When after the coach chews them out, they go over and kind of give them a pat in the back, like it's going to be okay. Just you got to do this, and you maybe have to listen to what Tom's telling you, but maybe he's full of you know what. So this is what you got to do, and that's what.
No, you make
that's
a very. Yeah, I was going to say you make a very important point that everyone has a role on the team, whether you're competing on the floor or pulling the mat. You know, every role is important for the team's success, and you know that doesn't go unnoticed.
Absolutely.
Some unique skills on high bar here by Will Pierce.
Will he's the man. Now, Brandon is. I'm sorry, Will. I'm not watching you. I'm watching Brandon because I just like the look of his gymnastics and how he kind of accelerated that turn into the reverse pirouette and managed the handstand. He's a little short in that stutz, but he just said, okay, I got to speed up my brain a little bit, get my body working a little quicker. And look at Will. Look at Will. I love this guy, man. He is turning Northern California gymnastics on its head. And then
Brandon, a lot of passion there.
Oh, my gosh. And he's just, you know, he's got such a good heart. He's a really, really good guy. You know, when you watch gymnastics and you kind of just see the gymnastics, right? But you don't see what's gone into making that moment happen. And that moment happened with 30 years of, you know, pain and suffering and training and preparation and joy of learning. And all of a sudden you get to see that guy, my big old smile when he lands. He's just happy to be alive doing gymnastics.
I don't think they changed the playlist much since I've been on the team.
Maybe you need to put one together and send it in and say, you know, you got to do something with music down there, boys. Come on. Like, this is like the heart of Silicon Valley where all the most, you know, innovative stuff happens. Yeah. Can't you come up with a new playlist? Who's in charge of the music out there? Is it Gleamy?
Usually, the guys do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually the freshmen are in charge of putting on the day's music
Now
in the gym.
that's an interesting way to do things. You put the absolute most important thing in the hands of young little freshmen. What's going on with that?
It's a test.
You have
to
to
see how
earn.
well they,
You have to earn
do.
that
Yes.
right.
All right, we got Luke McFarland over here on parallel bars.
Another East Coast Massachusetts Region 6 guy. I love this kid. Look at that backup right hand. He could have clapped to a handstand. Wow. Well done.
Yes. Very impressed by Luke's work here on parallel bars.
All you younger gymnasts that are out here watching this meet tonight, watch Luke's handstand. It's like the Rock of Gibraltar. Now, if your handstand is not that solid, then you got some work to do. And you better be up against the wall doing minute-long handstands and figuring out how to tuck your tailbone under and how to push strong out of your shoulders.
Stick.
That was a great routine. Look at the team. That's what it's about right there, David. You've had moments like that, haven't you? You've been right in the middle of that dog pile, and everybody is behind you. And that's the power of collegiate gymnastics right there in a snapshot.
There's no better feeling than, hitting a rock-solid routine and then being surrounded by your brothers celebrating your success. You're all in it together. It's great.
So when Luke's score comes up, it's like the running team score was on the last screen there, but they're about 15 points behind Team USA, I think. So I don't think he's going to quite go 15, but he's going to close the gap for sure between Team USA and Stanford. So good for him. And
USA was also on vault, which is a higher scoring event.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Stanford still needs to go to vault, right? Oh no, did they? Let's see, who started on vault? Team USA? Yeah, Team USA.
Yep.
So Stanford. Oh, see, this is brilliant for Tom Gleamy. What did he do? He set the lineup, the starting event, so he would end on vault. So he's got the highest scoring event, last event, and if they can catch Team USA, they're going to do it on vault.
Yep, totally.
Good strategy, Tom.
If you can hear,
good for you.
If you can hear the background, you can hear the MC talking about pizza. So we have a thing out in Stanford where for every stuck landing, we have someone from the team run out to the stands and give a pizza to the loudest cheering fans. Always a cool tradition.
That's a lot of pizza. How many do they give out?
As many as we can. We can give up to 30, right, for sticks.
Oh wow. Okay, so I am going to check Stanford's schedule, and the next home meet, I'm going to fly out there, and I'm going to scream so loud, they better give me a pizza. And I want pineapple and Canadian ham on it. And I know some of you people out there think putting pineapple on a pizza is like just a death thing, right? I love pineapple on pizza. So all you haters out there, just send me some direct messages on Instagram. Talk about how you don't like pineapple on the pizza, but I like it.
You can't mix sweet and savory, Mike.
Oh, just watch me. So going through the 2-minute touch here, and wow, look at that pop that Toy Young had on that double back off parallel bars. I think he might try a triple. What do you think? Is he going to pull out the triple back tonight?
Ooh, I don't know. I think he needs to gain a couple feet on the height.
So I think that's Brandon Wynn on the high bar right now, warming up. This beautiful Coleman. Just floated that thing back down to the bar. Nice layout to Tkachev. And Tom had told me that he's looking to do a Casina and a Coleman and a layout straddle pike to Tkachev all connected. So, he's got potential to be up in above a 6.0 start value with that routine. So it'll be fun to see when he gets there if he's going to pull it all out, if he can put it all in tonight or not. And that's kind of fun stuff when you know that there's a potential for something big coming up, and you go, "Come on, dude, we're pulling for you."
Yeah, a lot of high flying releases. That's gonna be an exciting routine to watch.
Yes, it is.
Start rotation number 5.
I don't know if we ever pointed out the scores on the bottom of the screen here, but they have the difficulty and the execution. That last routine for Luke McFarland, only 9/10 deduction execution. That's very well done.
So look, Team USA is only 3.85 points ahead of Stanford. So with Stanford finishing on the vault and Team USA finishing on the high bar, which, you know, that's a good high bar squad, but it's high bar, and, you know, there could be a miss or two on a release, and Stanford knocks out some high-powered balls. This thing could be turned around at the very last moment. So you do not want to shut this thing off tonight, folks. It's going to go down to the wire, and it's going to be exciting, and the roof is going to just blast off of Burnham Pavilion tonight, I'm pretty sure.
Those are always the best kind of meets.
Well, it looks like must have another Stanford guy that's going up on the bars for Team USA, because they're all doing the same mount. I think Luke McFarland was the only one who didn't do that mount, the Stanford lineup. Looks like Jeremy Bishop's about to do the Hanma swing hand. Very nice. Again, look at that handstand. And the fact that he has to do a really steady handstand on one bar to make that Makut's work shows you the importance of a good handstand.
Totally. I'd probably say the handstand's one of, if not the most important skills in gymnastics.
Absolutely. Okay, that was a nice vault on the. That was Ian Gunther. Osfull.
Ian Gunther.
A little bit around the corner, so we kind of got a little hung up on the rotation, had to pike it down. But that'll score well. It's a 14.8 heart value, so I'm going to give him probably about a 13.7. What do you think? 13.6 maybe.
I say 13.8.
Okay.
It's like we got Zach Green here on high bar. Clean lines.
Very clean. That was a beautiful inside stalder, and here we go with the Kovacs tap. So right into the Coleman. Look at how effortless that was. Nice layout to Kachev.
You know you're a good gymnast when you can make the gymnastic skills look easy.
Right? They make it look so easy. I think I could go up and do it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he drifted out a little bit on that dismount because his tap was released a little too early, and he ended up picking early for the double layout full out, and all of a sudden that thing's drifting out on you towards the floor exercise mat, and it'd take a hop to get his balance underneath him. You know, all of you kids out there doing gymnastics, and if you're in high school or starting college, and if you understand physics can be a really good course to take to help you understand how gymnastics works, because your body is working in the physical world, and it's trying to fight the bonds of gravity all the time, because what gravity is trying to do is pull you to the center of the earth, right? And the floor keeps you from going there. But all the skills you do are kind of predicated on how well you can work within the boundaries of gravity versus working against the boundaries of gravity.
We got Colt Walker on P-bars.
Yes, he's a amazing P-bar guy.
Unfortunate fall on vault.
Oh, look at that. That looks like it might be a new skill for him.
And very difficult.
Yep. Look at that. It just floats through the air like with the greatest of ease. Now Colt on his bails here for the Tapelt and the Postar have just a teeny bit of knee bend, so he could be working on that, trying to improve that. But boy, he's doing some really nice work on the high bar, or on the parallel bars. And who do we have over there on high bar?
Looks like we have freshman Reese Landsberger.
Reese Landsberger, that's who I thought it was. Oh, the full Takamoto go out the back door. That's it's an unfortunate mistake, but it's one of those mistakes that you go. I like the fact that he made a mistake by going to the hilt with it. He was not holding back. He went all out and just came up a little bit shy. But in order to do that skill right, you're gonna have to come up shy every so often. And little hoppy, little bouncy. Got to get those Post-it notes on his feet so we can stick that dismount a little better. 3M is located. Yeah, these are sticky feet. 3M is located right here in the Twin Cities, their corporate headquarters, and the Post-it notes were invented right here in the Twin Cities at 3M. So,
is that right?
If they need a little help getting some Post-it notes, give me a holler. I can kind of hook you up with 3M.
Good, I might have to call you later for this.
I imagine you used a lot of Post-it notes in med school. You're taking all kinds of notes in your textbooks and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
So now, David, you're a dual citizen with the Czech Republic, right? And
yeah.
I imagine you speak fluent Czech.
That's correct.
Okay, so when you're studying medicine, is English your first language or is Czech your first language?
English. Well, it's funny. Growing up, my mom talked to me mostly in Czech, and my dad only spoke English, so I kind of picked up both. But once I started going to school, English kind of took over.
Yeah.
So, but since I started competing for Czech, then
you probably spent a lot more time there.
Mm-hmm.
So here we got a dueling banjos over here. We got Coy Young on the parallel bars and Taylor Burkhardt on high bar. Two high-powered gymnasts that are just gonna knock your socks off when they do their gymnastics. Coy is just Dr. Precision. He's like a scalpel. Look at him. Oh, no problem there. Here goes Taylor getting going, and he's just gonna do some crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure. Nice.
And you're gonna see, some unique releases for Taylor.
Yes. Now that was interesting because he did a layout Tkachev connected to a straddle. Then he did a pike to Tkachev later. And the pike to Tkachev looked...
Right here.
Oh, baby. Nice Winkler. Full twisting front layout to a recatch. That's a hard skill, and it's worth a lot. Very risky.
Yeah.
And, the thing about being a good gymnast, you better be willing to take some risks. Not like danger risks, but risks of hey, you could land on the bar or miss the bar. But in order to get it consistent, you got to go through the repetitions over and over and over and over and over again until you get it right. And that's all the work that's done away from the spotlight. And if you don't do that work away from the spotlight, you're never going to make it into the spotlight.
Yeah. No, you bring up a good point about, there's a lot that goes on the line, including your health. So that's why it's always important to, always be on your game, mentally, physically, because, you could have some serious consequence if you're not ready.
Right. But the thing that always inspired me when I was doing gymnastics back in the day, and I was able to do a few things that were kind of ahead of the time, release-wise on high bar, and I like the idea of doing something that A, a lot of people wouldn't think about doing, and B, kind of when a guy does something in the gym for the first time, it kind of gives the rest of the guys on the team permission to execute. At the time, those skills were starting to become popular, and once I started doing it, all of a sudden there's like a bunch of guys in the gym said, "Well, geez, if he can do it, I should probably be able to do this, right?" And that's how it evolves. That's how the team gets better because somebody takes the initiative to make it happen. And so the Bhavsar skill that Asher just did. This is a funny story. So Raj Bhavsar, Ohio State gymnast and the 2008 Olympian, he basically invented that skill. He took it to pelt to a higher level, and he does the Bhavsar. So his international meet that he did that in to get it named after him was the Moscow World Cup meet that I happened to be at as a coach. And I got to witness the actual moment that the Bhavsar became Labavsar in the code of points. So that's my claim to
great
fame,
story.
David.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
And because of that moment, Raj and I have been really tight friends ever since. And like I don't see him a lot, I don't talk to him a lot, but every time I see him, we just have this like little moment of remember that trip, and it was the coolest thing.
All right, here comes the high flying Elises we talked
Oh,
about.
there's a casino. Oh, that last hand was caught at the last moment. That is death-defying. That was a little more controlled. And now he's going to go into his Tkachev sequence. Let's see if he can put all three of them together. There's the layup. Hits the bar.
Oh.
No, too close. He didn't get it pushed back.
Close.
So here's the straddle connected to the pike, hopefully. Yep, there we go. So eventually he'll put all three of those together and get an additional 10th of connection bonus. So, and that is a really intricate and very high precision sequence. And you can see he had a little trouble with it. But did he let it bother him? Heck no. He's still going. I'm gonna bet you $5 he's gonna stick this dismount. Oh wait, this is an NCAA meet. We can't have any gambling. Did I call it? I'm going to the local gas station and buying a lottery ticket tonight. My luck is high.
That wasn't luck. That was skill.
So, all right. So you're gonna love this, David. So your fellow Czech Republic national team buddy, Jack Gagamov, on my team in Minnesota, sends me a text. He goes, I personally don't like pineapple on pizza. Oh,
great.
We got to teach this. We got to teach this guy the way of the world.
No, he knows. He knows.
Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. We got Riley Luce on the parallel bars doing some very, very nice precision work. Just hitting those handstands and solid as a rock. Double front dismount, overkicked it a little bit. You know, he held on to that double front a little longer than he should have, but the reason he did it is because he came off the bar a little bit early and he knew he was in a little bit of trouble. So he goes, I better hang on a little longer. And he did the right thing. So he ended up taking a 310 pop, but it would have been a 1-point fall if he hadn't have done that because he would have come up short. Good for him. So that's the kind of education that this sport gives you. It's like, you know, hey, I'm in a little trouble. It didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. Holy smokes, I better pull this thing a little harder. And sure enough, found a way to make a success out of a potential failure. All right, who do we have up next here on the high bar? This guy looks like he's going to be really hard to beat. Looks like we got, is this J.R. Chow?
Arun.
Oh, Arun.
Looks like Arun Chetri.
Oh, okay, Arun. Okay, Arun, let's make this thing happen. This is your chance to shine, right? Oh, that was a nice Yamawaki. Endo stalled her up to handstand. Nice pirouette. Winding up for something big here. What do you think it's going to be? Straddle Tkachev. And, you know, it's... Oh, he caught his foot on his drop into his stall. That was a bad move. Nicely done on that quast. And
Rabalko.
Rabalko was pretty nice. You can see this kid. He has a nice handstand position. When he hits the top of his giants, he is extremely well pushed out, extremely tight in the lower back and the core, and that's what makes high bar an easy event. If you can't get a handstand position that's strong, straight, and true on high bar, you're going to struggle in this event. So again, we talked about it on parallel bars earlier, and I'm hoping all these younger gymnasts that are watching this are seeing some of the things that are really making the difference in these guys' performances. It's a great handstand. These guys have great handstands, and the guys who don't, they don't get to that level because the handstand is going to be the deciding factor in whether or not you can do the upper level skills. So if you were a young gymnast and I was just giving a clinic, David, what would you do when you go home first thing tomorrow when you get in the gym?
I mean, I would probably say handstands.
Handstands, of course you would do handstands till you're blue in the face. You would do nothing else. And if you did nothing else but handstands for a full month, and didn't do anything else, your gymnastics would be better at the end of that month, even though you didn't do any gymnastics. I guarantee you. You can take that to the bank and collect interest on that statement, because kids out there are trying to do too much stuff too early, and they haven't mastered a good handstand. I tell you, you little kids out there doing gymnastics, handstands, that's boring. Flipping, that's fun, right? And I get it. I was young.
Here's a funny story.
Go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear.
Funny story for you, Mike. All these talk about handstands. When I made my first press handstand when I was 5 years old. I would try every night, and it was always before I went into the bath. So I would just go down to my underwear because I felt like I was the lightest. And one day, sure enough, in the living room, I made it.
There you go.
Rest is
well,
history.
when I started gymnastics pretty late. When I was in high school is when I started. So you had the advantage of 5 years old working handstands. But I had this shirt that had kind of like a Leonardo da Vinci sketch of a guy doing a lower down to straddle L, press back up the handstand. So I said, I want to do that. And every night before I would go to bed, I would go in the kitchen, because the kitchen had a linoleum floor, and I could slide on my socks as I came down on the straddle L. I could never do it, but I could slide through and land on my butt in the straddle position and try to push back up. And I just did it every single day. I'd probably do 10 a night before I went to bed. And eventually, it happened. And, if you're not willing to put the time in when nobody's watching, I think my mom was watching the news or Johnny Carson. I'm out in the kitchen. All the lights are off. I think the dishwasher was going, with the last load of the night. And I'm out there doing my straddle down, straddle back up, and falling down and making sure my socks were slippery enough that I would slide through on the linoleum. And, that hard work paid off, because I eventually was able to do that. And because of that, my handstand got really good. And I was not a very good gymnast when I walked on at Penn State. And I could do giants one way, couldn't do them the other way. I could do a baby flyaway, and I could do pretty much that's it, a back hip circle, right? And by the time I was a senior at Penn State, I had made the NCAA event finals on high bar, because A, I didn't have any bad habits because I couldn't really do anything, and B, I had a really good handstand. And that was the difference in my getting better on high bar. Because from a handstand emanates every skill you're going to do in this sport.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm a spokesman for the American Handstand Association, but as a coach of gymnastics, I know how frustrating it is for me to teach a guy high-level skills when the handstand is weak. Okay, so junior coaches, junior gymnasts, when you're getting ready to send your kids off to college, spend a little extra time on that handstand when they're 10, 11, 12 years old. It's going to pay off. Maybe, hey David, I think you and I should start the American Handstand Association.
Yeah, I think so.
You could be the president, I'll be the secretary-treasurer. How's that sound?
Okay.
And then, in order to be a member, you have to show me a 10-second handstand. Just like, anytime I ask, give me a 10-second handstand.
Right.
Don't make it, you lose your membership card.
All right, we're going to be headed into our last event here. A lot of good gymnastics left to go. And if we look at the scores here, yeah, we have USA breaking away from Stanford. Seems to be a 12-point lead right now.
Yep. Are the Bandits coming up behind and going to surprise everybody in the final event? Maybe not.
I hope so.
I would love to see it. So again, we mentioned that Stanford, even though they're down by 12 points, is ending on the vault, which is be a high-scoring event, and they have a high-scoring vault lineup. And Team USA, who's
Cayenne Peppa.
Cayenne Peppa? This guy's about to go. Oh, here we go. Nicely done. Nicely done. He stayed between the lines. That's important, folks. That's your inbounds and that's your out of bounds. Now, David, I'm going to give you a little quiz on judging protocol. So, if he had landed with 1 foot over the line and 1 foot inside the boundaries, what would the neutral deduction be for that fault?
1/10.
Bingo! Okay, if he had landed with 1 foot out and 1 foot in, then took a hop outside and both feet landed outside, how many tenths of deduction would that be from a neutral deduction?
Then it would just be the 3/10 deduction, I believe.
Dude, are you sure you didn't see the answer sheet before I asked the questions? Because you are a brilliant gymnastics judge. You get the prize. I think we should put you on the floor next meet.
I did have a couple judging meets under my belt.
There you go.
We got Evan Hymanson on parallel bars.
Evan's a really talented guy.
Yeah, came from a gym in New Jersey, Monmouth, with former Stanford alum Akash Modi.
Oh, that's right. Not that he was from Akash's gym.
Coached by Yuri Aminov.
Well, we just got a little notice in our ear that Akash Modi is going to be part of the Virtius production tomorrow, and he's going to be commentating for the William & Mary Springfield meet. How awesome is that? So that'll be great.
Oh,
I think,
awesome.
David, we should get on tomorrow and kind of maybe watch Akash, see how he does. Because he's a big deal, man. And you know, maybe we can get we can learn something from him and figure out how to do this job a little bit better next time.
For sure. We got Jeremy Bischoff here. Great work.
He is a really accomplished guy, man. I like his gymnastics. He's just steady Eddie, very clean, has good difficulty, and near stick on that dismount. But he just looks like he does things with an effortless ease. I love to watch his gymnastics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good senior class there with Jeremy, Brandon Nguyen, and Colt Walker.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot to lose next year. Wow.
Yeah. We'll see.
You know,
I think they're the last class that can take COVID eligibility here.
Oh my goodness! You know, if any other team in the country lost 3 guys like that, it would be a rebuilding year. But Stanford's just going to absorb that like it's no big deal, because they got such amazing depth and talent in that gym. And you know, so the guys that are coming in at the lower end of the spectrum, do you think they're not going to get better just by being around that every single day, like marinating in the greatness that walks into that gym every day?
Yeah.
It's a great culture you have there at Stanford.
Oh, totally. Just like you said with the, performing the skill for the first time. Everybody sees it and wants to do it too. You're just surrounded by great gymnasts, so you're naturally just going to adopt the practices. Great stick on vault there by Brandon Nguyen.
Oh, there we go. That's the unsung hero. I think he's gonna really surprise some people this year at the NCAA championships, and hopefully, I think he's qualified to the Winter Cup. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know that for sure, but
I'm actually not sure.
He is a really, really talented kid, and I would love to see him just kind of get the name that I think he deserves at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Foy
Young here.
Now, did you see him? He did that in-bar endo on the way up, right? And he did it with plenty of clearance, but his socks hit the bar, and there was a little puff of smoke. I didn't know if he was going to hit the bar or not until I saw the puff of smoke. I go, I'm taking a 10th because he hit the bar. So make sure you brush off all that chalk off your feet before you do that skill next time, Foy. These are all the little secrets that a guy who's been around a long time knows. Okay?
Right.
You probably wouldn't have seen that, David. You're just a youngster. You're a rookie. As a good friend of mine, John Roethlisberger, would once say, like a toothpick in a club sandwich.
That's right. Or like Tim Daggett, Gymnastics 101, fly high and stick the landing.
There you go. I mean, if you do nothing but that, you'll probably do all right. Tim Daggett is a great philosopher when it comes to Gymnastics 101. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I did take that class once, actually, at Stanford.
Who taught it?
Tim.
Too funny. All right, so we're waiting for the judges over here, and our good friend, my hero, my new hero of Gymnastics, folklore. Will Pierce getting ready to start his final event of the night. And let's see if I gets this free hip to handstand up there and pirouettes in. Very nice.
Good.
Come on, push it out. He might be getting a little tired. All 6 events and coaching and competing. The guy can do it all. Apparently, he must have made a deal with somebody to get a few extra hours in the day that I don't have.
Asher Hong starting on high bar.
Whoa, what did he? Is that an extra swing he started with?
Will Pierce.
Was it at the World Championships 2 years ago that he caught the high bar on a Kovacs or a Coleman on the wrist supports of his grips, and he did a giant all the way around with his hands just dangling and on his wrist support? Do you remember that?
I think I do remember that. Yes, I've seen that from a couple gymnasts, but
when it happens, it's
always
like,
scary not to have.
Yeah, if you're not, part of being human is the opposable thumb. You want to be able to use that thing on high bar. Hang on.
That's right. Dismount here. Nice stick.
So watching his giant lead up to the tap and then his drag to the bottom before his kick, you can see how he's going to get so much power because he's dragging and being patient through the bottom when gravity is creating the most weight that he's going to carry. He's probably picking up like an extra G's worth of force through the bottom on those giants, right, in a tap. And if he starts to try to pick his toes up while gravity's trying to pull him down, he's going to lose that battle every time. And he's gotten smart in his old age, figured out how to, I'm not going to fight gravity. I'm going to work with gravity and look at what I can do. Okay, so if you're trying to figure out how to get your dismounts better, get that video and watch how well he drags to the bottom and how patient he is when he kicks and release the bar. And it's just it's a piece of artwork the way he does it. And it's obvious, like as I'm watching these guys do gymnastics, it's obvious how complete he gets his body arch after the he pulls over that pike to the tap, and he opens up, full body opening through hips and chest and armpits and shoulders. It's not just a lower back arch, but he completely releases.
Speaking of artwork, Mike. Speaking of artwork, we have a great routine on P-bars here.
Blake soon
about to happen.
Yes, artistic as the day is long. I think that was a little bit of a mishap, but he improvised really nicely. Ooh, the peach back flip. I think it's called the Tejada, invented by a Cuban gymnast, Tejada. I don't remember his first name, but I actually saw Tejada do that skill at the 1990 Caribbean Games in Mexico City, and it was the most impressive thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody do it close to as good as he did it. Thus, it's named after him.
Wow. Also did another unique skill there, the layout Suarez.
Oh, I love that skill.
By Uzbekistan gymnast Anton Fokin.
Okay. You might want to change the way you pronounce his name, but I get it. All right, so we're getting down to the wire here, and Stanford is now in the lead by 18 points, but I believe the final score for Asher is still not up. When that score goes up, and Stanford's on vault, so they probably have all of their guys done. So that's probably their final.
And we still got one more to go.
They got one more.
Walker on high bar.
No, I'm talking Stanford though. I think they're done. Colt's got one more.
Stanford's done, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, USA is 4 points behind, but they got one more gymnast to go.
Colt, part of the senior squad at Stanford.
Boy.
Oh,
that was unfortunate.
Mishap there.
And this is where Stanford's going. He just opened the door. I don't think Colt's going to get a 3.9 on this routine, though, and let Stanford win. So I could be wrong, but I think he's going to get back up, salvage the day, win the meet, be the hero of Team USA, even though right now he's not feeling like much of a hero. But this is what we've been talking about all night long, David. How do you manage the emotional spike of a miss like that? The last guy up in the meet, and you need to hit to win the meet. That's a lot of pressure. He didn't need to hit a perfect.
Just got to stay in the moment here.
Oh, baby. Okay, come on, attaboy. Oh, boy, that's 2 balls. That's 2 points he's got to count to the team score.
You know, 6 events. It's a lot of energy by the end of the meet. But, you know, you got to, that's part of gymnastics and learning how to, you know, fight till the very last routine.
Without a doubt. Yep.
We'll have one more competitor after Colt on parallel bars, Ian Gunther.
That Ian? Yep. Whew. Colt's having some trouble, but he's just not giving up. I love that about him. I think every gymnast in their lifetime has had one of these routines where just you can't quite get it going, you know. And there's another fall. That's unfortunate, but he's gonna, you know what he's gonna do, because this is the kind of kid he is, and I know this about him. He's gonna take this, and it's gonna fuel him, and it is gonna fuel him to get that high bar problem fixed. And he's got, you know, a couple of weeks till his next meet, and he's got to fix that problem. And you know, that's the name of the game. You have a problem, you find a solution, and you implement that solution. And then you fix that problem. You don't cry about it. There's no crying in gymnastics. You fix that problem.
That's right. And, you know, nice thing, you know, this is just another meet to use as practice, you know, for the end of the season, because ultimate goal here is the NCAA championships. So, you know, a lot of meets to go until then, but I'll love to see all these guys today competing. A lot of good performances, areas to improve on, but overall, you know, very good.
So looks like we got some waiting on Colt's score on high bar there, and I think Ian's score on P bars, and then we'll have all the scores in. And we'll see what the final results are. The dust is starting to settle in Burnham Pavilion. And, you know, I always love the, right at the end of the meet, you know, you've been through this battle, and you kind of, you know, dealing with all the bumps and bruises you guys might have had and all the emotional highs and lows of the competition. And then you see, you know, where you ended up. And you got to learn from it. You know, all the good and bad stuff, you try to take something away from it all. And I think that's an area that, you know, younger gymnasts are kind of used to being told what to do by their coaches. But I think if they were to take it upon themselves to be a little more engaged, I think that success would happen at a sooner age, at a younger age. And, you know, really it's just about making the decision that you're going to own your gymnastics. You're going to own it. It's yours. All right? It's not anybody else. This is not your parents. It's not your coaches. It's yours. So take some ownership in it, take some pride in it, and go out and find a way to solve the problems that you have. Because everybody's got problems. And the ones who are successful are the ones who solve the problems. The ones who are not successful don't let the problems be solved. And they make excuses, or they just don't want to put the work in. And that's okay. That's the decision. That's where you're at. That's where you're at. But you look at the guys here. If you want to be like them, then you find those solutions to those problems and you put that time in. And I guarantee you that's going to pay off in the long run. I feel like we've been shut off the air. Well, looks like we got the final scores in, and here's the final standings. Team USA did become victorious here with a 415.65 and took down the Stanford Cardinal by a little over 5 points. And looks like the Bay Area Bandits, came in a distant third, but I got to give these guys a ton of credit. And to be on the floor with these outstanding athletes and to be able to have some of that rub off on you just by virtue of being there, I think it's going to be a great experience for these kids. David, any last comments on Team USA's efforts over Stanford and anything about the Bandits?
It was a great meet to watch. Like I said before, we had some mishaps here and there, but that's all part of the process. You learn from your mistakes, and you use this as a stepping stone for the next meet, and ultimately keep your eyes on that end goal. For those USA guys are going on to Winter Cup, try to make national team and do some international assignments, and then Stanford looking on to the NCAAs, and for the Bandits looking over to their national championships too. So lots of things to improve on in the future, but overall very promising from this meet, and it was a pleasure to watch and to commentate for.
Yeah, I got to give the judges a lot of credit too, because this meet finished in under 2 hours, and that's hard to do when you get that many routines. And judging is a difficult thing. I give them a lot of credit. So way to get this meet done in under 2 hours, guys. Well done. So it looks like they're kind of doing awards right now. So as our production team puts together some leaderboard information for us, you can hear in the background they're going through some announcing of place winners on the different events. So I hear Asher Hong's name quite a bit. Apparently he did some good stuff tonight. Do you think there, David? I think Asher might have had a good meet.
Oh yeah, a lot of good stuff from Asher. And that's just the beginning for this season.
Yep. So here we are. They got the floor exercise.
Event summary.
Asher put up a big score, 15:05, and Coy Young was right behind him with a 14:06, and Colt Walker right behind him, 14:45. And there's quite a few scores above a 14 there, which is a good sign because, again, floor is an event where you can give away a lot of points pretty easy with landing deductions. Okay, moving on to the pommel horse. That's no surprise. Who's at the top of the leaderboard? World medalist Coy Young with a big score, 14:5. And look at J.R. Chow. J.R. Chow, my first hero of the night, right? A tenth of a point behind world medalist Coy Young. Good for him. Then Luke McFarland, the Region 6 Wonder Boy, takes third place in a very stacked field of great pommel horse guys. Good for you, Luke. Hey, moving on to the still rings. Take it away, David. I want you to talk about these top three guys.
Oh, sure. Asher Hong, great show of strength there with the 15.2. Second place, we got Riley with a 14.55. And then right under him, Mark Berlaga for Stanford with a 14.4. All great ring guys, all very strong.
I'm pretty sure all three of those guys who took the top three spots stuck their dismount. You think sticking a dismount is important?
Very important, especially in NCAA ranks when you get that stick bonus.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's see what happens on vault. Okay, take it away, David.
Yeah, it looks like we got a tie here with Coy Young and Asher Hong, both with a 15.25. Great vaults from them. And then right behind them, Riley Luce with a 14.9.
Yeah, there's some high-powered vaulters here. Wow. Mm-hmm. Really, really impressive. Well, I just love watching Coy. And look at Coy and Asher tied, right? And they're completely different gymnasts in terms of how they attack vault. Coy has this beautiful, twisty, crisp look in and tight form and elegant, And Asher just like a bulldog running down that runway and just knocking himself into this amazing vault and just power charged, right? And it's great to see the two
one of the hardest
styles of gymnastics in the hardest vault in the world. and they end up tied for first place in this meet. How cool is that?
And we have a tie in first. The score of 415.650. Stanford and Team USA take today's meets.
Oh, we're jumping over to the all-around, and sure enough, look at that. All those big scores that Asher put up turns into an 86.85 all-around score, which is just off the charts. That's a big score. Good for you, Asher. And right behind him is Coy Young with an 85.7. And Taylor Burkhart pulls it up to third place, 83.95. Good for him. And look at that. Riley was a pretty close fourth place. He just missed the podium. And, he's probably going, man, 3 more tenths, I could have been ahead of him,
Just for reference, 86.85, that's, is contending with some of the top guys in the world. So that's, very promising for Ash in the future. Coy as well. Excited to see what they got later.
Well, how fun must it be to be in the Stanford gym and have one of the best all-around guys and best vaulters in the world in your gym? Several of the best vaulters in the world in your gym. That you can't help but come in the gym every day kind of charged up about that. What's good is look at how many all-arounders there were in the meet. There's quite a few. 15 guys.
I think we went back to parallel bars here. We have I think the parallel bar standings. Asher Hong with the 14.8. Luke McFarland pulling out second with the 14.6. That's great to see.
Wow.
And then tied for third, Coy Young and David Shama, 14.55.
Well, David's got to be feeling pretty good about tying the third place with a world medalist on this event. Good for him. He's only a freshman, right? Wow. Restacking the deck there, man. Yeah, I think the high bar scores should be coming up any minute here. And any guesses on who might have won high bar? I don't really know.
Yeah, Asher had a heck of a competition today, and you can tell the scores here, a little bit lower compared to the other events. High bar tends to be a little bit lower scoring, but still 13.85 for Asher, and tied for second was Coy Young and Taylor Burkhart, just under 13.75. Nice.
Yeah, Riley just bumped out of the third place by a half a tenth. So, Riley is a really, really talented guy, and when he puts it together, he is a hard guy to beat. So, I'd love to see Riley put a great meet together at Winter Cup and make the national team again, and be able to, be part of that kind of snowplow of effort that USA Gymnastics is doing. Team USA is really making some statements around the world. This last World Championships with Asher and Coy and the others, really, really kind of put people on notice around the world as what's going on here in the US of A.
Yeah, totally. I'm excited to see, especially with it being an Olympic year. Paris is just around the corner, so a lot of guys are looking forward to that, trying to make that Olympic team. Everyone's pushing each other. It's going to be exciting to see how it turns out.
It really is. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a battle to make the Olympic team this year, and it's going to be a battle just to make the national team in a couple of weeks at Winter Cup, and then once you get past that and you make that, then you go into the countdown for the U.S. Championships and then the Olympic trials. And the Olympic trials is probably one of the most stressful meets a guy's ever going to be in, because once you make the Olympics, it's going to be I'm in. Okay,
it's going to be over by you, right, Mike?
It is. It's going to be in Minneapolis in the last weekend in June, and we've got a lot of different committees working on different things, aspects of bringing people into the great city of Minneapolis and trying to showcase things up here. So it's going to be Gymnastics Central here in the great Twin Cities. So I'm really looking forward to all my gymnastics friends coming up to see me. I appreciate you all visiting me this June. And no, I don't have any extra beds that you can sleep over in. Oh, sorry. Well, I guess we're wrapping it up from Stanford University and historic Burnham Pavilion. David Jessen, along with me, Mike Burns, appreciate you being here tonight, following all the action as Stanford took on Team USA and the Bay Area Bandits. And, oh my gosh, what a great showing of powerful gymnastics here in the great states of the US of A. And, I think it's a bright future for Team USA as we get ready to prepare for the Olympics in Paris this summer.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure. Until the next time.
Absolutely, David. Be good, and best of luck with your medical studies, man. If ever I have a orthopedic issue in a few years, I'm coming to see you.
Sounds good. I got you.
Adios, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I guess that's it.